Okay, Shreshth, you can start by first telling us why you want to be General Secretary.
Okay, so my name is Shreshth. I'm a first year student and I'm running for the position of General Secretary for the upcoming CSA elections. Over the past year, I have served as an hostel representative. I was the HR of DH4 and I have also worked in MESS QCC. And apart from that, I've also contributed on fest and pre-fest, like in pre-fest activities. Through all this experience, like I've got to know one thing, that whenever you need to, just make a change in any sort of system in BITS and any particular change, it requires more than just enthusiasm, and like it is very tough. Like it not only requires the ideation, but there are many more things and many more complexities involved, and which I dealt with. And furthermore, since past 4 months, I was deciding whether to step in this elections thing or not. But as I started my groundwork, and since the time I've been I have been doing my groundwork, it only deepened my interest in this GenSec thing. That's why I'm standing.
Okay, so we'll just go through your SOP.
Yes.
Your first idea is a takeaway system for eateries, right? Can you explain that a little bit?
So basically, what I'm aiming is, I'm proposing that we'll be creating a takeaway eatery web app through which a student will be able to order online through like any eateries, and we'll be including many features as I've listed below, which I'll be telling later on. So the basic ideation was that we'll be creating this sort of web app, and we'll install it from the eateries end also, which will allow students to just order it from the comfort of their hostels, libraries, or anywhere from campus. And although this won't work on a delivery basis, it will work on a takeaway basis only, and students will physically have to go to the respective vendor and take their order. But it will help reduce the long queues and the waiting time. And what I'm aiming is that if a student is going to a eatery, his or her food should be waiting for them. That's what I'm aiming. And we'll also be including many dynamic features like notifications. Like I'll get a notification when my order is ready. We'll be including like dynamic menu management, that if, for example, at INS at some instance of time shawarma is not available, they'll have the option to just toggle it off. And we'll also be including a third feature is that we'll be including a live status indicator, that whether the eatery is open, closed, or it is accepting only walk-in orders.
Okay. So you want to make an app basically for this.
Yes.
Have you talked to DevSoc?
Yes, I've talked to the concerned coordinators and core.
Okay, like they have approved like this idea, like they'll create the app.
Yeah, they'll approve, but obviously the current DevSoc coordinators won't be next year. But I got to know about whether it's feasible or not, and they said it's completely feasible and they have the time to make it.
Okay. And will there be any like costs related to like?
Yes, there will be cost.
So like what?
So basically, it involves three major costs. The one is the server hosting cost, one is database cost, and the third is the management cost.
Okay.
So the database will be used. The database will be used of MongoDB, and the server will be used of DigitalOcean. DigitalOcean costs around rupees 590 per month, and the database MongoDB costs around rupees 790 per month. And apart from that, the management, it will take around extra all the miscellaneous things, like you can take it as notifications, although we'll be using a Firebase notification system which is somewhat free. But apart from that, any miscellaneous costing would be around rupees 600 to 800. Compiling all those, we get a number of around 23,670 per year, which is, so I talked to DevSoc coordinators also, and they gave a rough idea of rupees 25,000, which is actually correlating with the quotation that I myself made through the research.
Okay, all right. And CSA will be financing this, like the funds.
We'll be getting finances from the administration end. I've talked to the administration, but if the administration somehow feels later on that it is not feasible to make such kind of a web app, I've also talked to the CSA, and it is feasible to take this much money from CSA Leisure itself.
Okay.
So there are rumors that such an app has already been done by the by DevSoc. So do you know anything about that?
Yes, there have been, there are rumors, but it has not been approved by any DevSoc coordinator. You can go and ask them. many core, especially the secondees, who are not like who are just a part of DevSoc, have created this. But the reason I had stated this in my agenda was that the execution of this idea is much more than the creation of a web app. The logistics and the permissions and the approvals of administrations, and the most important thing is the setting up and like doing a casual dry test is like even the bigger task in this.
Okay. And have you spoken to mess and eatery managers? How will they manage these orders?
Not mess because I'm not planning to get it into IC. That's why I haven't spoken to CMS manager, because he's the only one concerned here.
Okay.
Apart from eateries, yes, I've talked to eateries and their managers as well, and we got a spectrum of responses of interests, and based on the interests and the infrastructures that they have, I have made a phase strategy that first we'll be executing it in Nescafe and INS, and later on in the other eateries as well.
Okay, all right.
Okay. So we'll move on to the next point. Campus infrastructure, right?
Yes.
So yeah, what are your ideas? Just explain briefly.
So currently I understand that we have two stationaries in our campus, the Pragati stationery in B Dome and in the JV side, but that operates only on a 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. basis. It operates only for 12 hours a day, and most of the students are left like that in night and at night, and so they cannot get any printouts. And we are in a tech college, so my point was that in a tech college like that, why are students restricted for such a basic facility? For that, I initiated the idea that why not bring a printout vending machine, which is called a printout kiosk, that's the term used for it, and install it in our campus for 24/7 accessibility of printouts.
Okay. Where do you want to like keep these vending machines? Like
In the
locations?
computer center.
Okay. And how many units will you get?
We'll be starting with one kiosk, and on the basis of the responses we get, and on the basis of the revenue that the vendor is generating, we'll look forward to get other as well based on the
Okay.
demand.
You have talked to vendors?
Yes, I've talked to vendor. The vendor's name is Quick Print. It is a Chennai-based vendor, and it already operates in many colleges like BIT Chennai, IIT Madras, and NIT Calicut.
All right. And what would be like the cost of getting like one unit?
That's the catch. There won't be any cost because we'll be getting it on a rental basis. So there are basically three packages. One is the rental package, one is the franchisee package, and one is the ownership package. So I found the rental package most convenient and most feasible for our campus. Basically, in this, there will be zero capex. We are not buying it. The vendor will take all the charges. Instead, will be paid the rent for the space and the power we are providing to them, and the Wi-Fi that we are providing.
Okay.
Will be given rent, and the revenue that is being generated through the margins, that will be solely owned by the vendor.
All right. And have you talked about the pricing of the printouts?
So yes, it will be 3 rupees for black and white for one side, and it will be 4 rupees for black and white for both side prints, and it will be 10 rupees for colored for both side prints and single side prints both.
All right. Okay.
Okay. And what's the like policy on privacy of the printouts when you get printed?
Yes, so there will be a system that there will be a QR on the vending machine. Students will be scanning it. It'll direct them to a website, and there they'll upload their documents. It will be a web upload, and after the printout has been generated, the documents will automatically be deleted, and will be making a quality contract in the and a service contract as well, and we'll be including this thing in it as well.
Okay. And maintenance of the machines, how often will it happen, and who will bear the cost for this?
The vendor itself will be hiring a technician here, and although a technician won't be required like so much frequently, because in a single cartridge it can like serve around 10,000 black pages for black and white and around 6,000 for colored. So I believe that at most thrice a month, a vendor will have to send a technician, and for any emergency cases whether a machine malfunctions, for that also technician will be available.
Okay. All right. For mess related improvements.
Yes.
Okay, you want like precise mess billing and leave integration, right?
Yes.
So who have you talked to about this?
I've talked to SWD office,
Okay.
and the person in charge, Miss Kalpita Desai, who's the programmer in SWD office. She takes care of the SWD side. Also, although the DevSoc coordinators are not directly related to this, they don't have the jurisdiction on this side. But still, I just wanted their opinion, so I consulted them also.
Okay.
And I also talked to Professor Ranjan there. Who's,
Okay.
yeah.
And they've agreed to like abide by this,
Like not exactly, they've not given me in written that they'll do it, but yeah, they said that this won't create a problem as we are not changing any contract and we are not changing any mess billing, because you might know that even though if I'm like barred from eating like if I'm barred from eating breakfast, I can still pay 50 rupees UPI. So instead of that UPI, what I'm doing is I'm integrating it with the mess budget that is cut from my month.
Okay.
So we are giving 50 rupees to the mess owners. So since the budgeting is not a problem, there won't be any problems from the administration end.
Alright.
Yeah, so you mentioned mess rates.
Yes.
So what are the repercussions if something bad is found in a mess rate?
If something bad is found in a mess rate, first of all, there is we tell the mess managers, and also there is a proper report that is submitted to the mess owners, like not the mess managers but the mess owners. Like we have Shri Suksagar for DMess. A complete mess report is made, and the mess raid report is also made public to the general body, so they also have the power to question.
Okay. How will you ensure like you will have more unannounced mess raids?
Basically, since I have been working in QCC, I know the problems that have occurred. That why mess raids are not conducted on such a frequent basis. So the problem is that a professional mess raid also requires the involvement of chief warden and some professors, some visiting professors. The problem is that currently the mess committee is not giving a very long period of notice to them. They're announcing the mess raids on a very short period of time, somewhat around 3 hours before the mess raid. So it is very difficult from professors' end to leave their busy schedule for this mess operations. But what I'm proposing is that we'll be creating like another group, and we'll be like telling the professors and the concerned authorities, not the students, the authorities, at least one day prior to the mess raid, which will help them also manage their time so that these raids can be carried out efficiently.
Okay, alright. Post raid reports will be done, alright. You want to ask something?
So it was mentioned in the previous Gen 6 agenda that the frequency had already been increased. So why do you think this change was inefficient? Why were they not able to apply this?
I believe the change was efficient. There has been a significant improvement in the, I would not say the quality, because still we have not got the feedback that we were hoping to get. But still, from the previous year, I guess the number of mess rates have increased, and the formation of the QCC is also a big achievement for them.
Okay. How often do you want to have these rates?
Currently, like in the previous semester, there wasn't any raid held in DMS. There was only, as per my record, there was only one raid held in CMS and one in AMS. So at least minimum we'll be hoping for 3 mess raids in a semester.
All right.
One maybe at the beginning, one at the very end, and one during the mid-sems time.
Okay. And you say QCC, like what is the
QCC is basically Mess Quality Control Committee. We are doing the same things but on a very grassroots level.
Okay.
Mess raids are very professional, and in QCC, because QCC is solely managed by our students, and we students are ourselves, like we are conducting the tests, adulteration tests and hygiene tests. So, and we are like only going, although we go regularly to check, but we only check at a very grassroots level. So that is not, the kind of efficiency that I want in mess.
All right. Okay, so your next point is the course grading disclosure.
Yes.
So again, like who have you talked to regarding this?
I've talked to AUGSD Dean Dr. Radhika Vatsan. I've talked to AUGSD Associate Dean Dr. Gaurav Dar. I've talked to Student Senator, and I've also talked to some professors to understand their point of view, including Mechanical HOD and EEE HOD.
Okay. All right. So they've agreed to do this, like.
From the professors' end, there is no problem. Like they are only restricted by the AUGSD. If AUGSD tells them that it's all right, you can disclose it. Professors have no problem from their end. Secondly, AUGSD was a bit hesitant in this, but when I asked them the problems that will be facing if we execute this, they weren't able to give me a very concrete answer because I know for a fact that there are no problems associated with this. They were just bushing around.
Okay.
But when I showed the current situation to the AUGSD dean, that I understood, like her point was that the course grading disclosure, these grade boundaries won't be of any help to the students. But when I showed her that students crowdsource this data by themselves and they are blindly following it, so it's better that AUGSD officially releases it, and since we are not this information won't be of any harm. So then she said that that in the coming academic year we'll be executing a new academic policy, and she herself said that since the grade dynamics is changing among the students, so we'll be executing a new academic policy. We'll be changing a grading a bit in association with the CSA and the student senator. So maybe if I get elected in my tenure, we'll push this idea as well, and we'll try to integrate this idea along with the academic policy that is being formulated.
Okay. The academic policy is just the grades that they are changing, the grading system.
I actually don't have any idea about what the academic policy will be, and that is not of my concern as of now. Okay. My point was that there is an academic policy that she, along with the other Senate members, are handling, and my only point was that the idea that I am proposing will be integrated along with the ideas that they want for the coming year.
All right. Yeah.
So, how will you maintain anonymity for this process? Like when grades get released,
yes.
How will you maintain anonymity for all students who don't?
I believe anonymity in the sense that if we are releasing grade boundaries, we'll just be releasing the fact that in a grade, let's say in M1 or in CP, the A minus grade got A minus grade boundary was like 127 marks, let's say. We won't be disclosing that this student got this many marks and he's got this grade. Even one more thing, that we are not even disclosing that how many students are getting a particular grade. There is a complete normal distribution curve. We won't be disclosing that. We'll only be disclosing the grade boundaries.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So do you think adding this process onto releasing the grade sheets will further delay the process?
We won't be releasing this in the grade sheets as it is rightly said by you that it will delay the process. Instead, this is somewhat this is the advice of AUGSD itself, that this information won't be of any help to the further batches because the students change, the professors change, the ICs change, and moreover the curriculum changes. It will only be helpful to the current students who have already been through the semester, and it will help them in applying for scrutiny. So we'll be releasing this whenever the semester ends, whenever the CG is out. The respective IC of each course will be sharing this through email. There as we have a mail for the maximum marks, minimum marks, average marks disclosed by each IC, there will be a similar sort of mail for this as well.
Okay, and this will be after the CGPA and everything is released?
Yes.
Okay, but what if anyone has any issues with what if the grade sheets are released after your CGPA and then someone has any issues with I got these same marks and according
that's what we have scrutiny for, right? That's what we have scrutiny for.
So you'll use this whole system just for...
Yeah, if I'm paying, my point was that if I'm paying 100 rupees for applying a scrutiny, at least AUGSD should be held accountable for those 100 rupees.
And did you ask AUGSD why they have not done this yet?
I asked AUGSD and I was told that this point had been raised by many students before as well. And I also asked the senator that why this has not been implemented so far, as it is of no harm to the students. The only answer that I received was that currently, in the past academic year, since the past academic year, the AUGSD dean was Dr. Ajit Pratap Singh, and he was in Pilani. So there was a bit communication barrier between from Goa and the AUGSD dean. But since now the AUGSD dean, Dr. Radhika ma'am, is in our campus, convincing her and proposing these ideas to a higher at the university level, at the inter-university level, it's not very tough. Secondly, in the past, in this academic year, the current senator had many other things to do also. There was this minimum 50% attendance that was implemented somewhat at the beginning of first semester, for which we had a protest in Pilani. Such to maintain that such things don't happen here. Senator and along with AUGSD had been working on different things. So this idea, although was in the back of the mind, it was in the back of their mind, but it didn't get highlighted.
Okay, so if these academic changes were to come next year as it is,
Yes.
how does your tenure as GenSec impact any of these changes coming up?
Firstly, as a GenSec, I'll not be a messenger, I'll be a catalyst. Although the final decisions, the final signatures, the final call is of the administration and the senator, it is not mine, but still, I'll make sure that I'll get that signature done for the general body, since I'll be representing the students.
Okay, all right. So next point is your MedC and pharmacy upgrades.
Yes.
So you want to integrate SWD for like the payments, right?
Yes.
You've talked to SWD again, like.
Yes, I've talked to SWD, and I've also talked to the pharmacy vendor, Mr. Prathamesh, and I've also talked to the CMO, Dr. Paresh Mahabal.
All right. Is there any like extent or any upper limit for how much the cost will be covered, like by covered by
From the
SWD?
students' end, there won't be any limit, as we have in our food code. We have a 4,500 food limit in SWD food code, but we won't be having any sort of limit in this, because I believe that medicines, we shouldn't put if we are putting any restriction on medicines, then that we are going completely against the concept that I am proposing. And I made a guesstimate that I got some numbers from the CMO that around 25% of the total BITS Goa, of 3,500 students, usually go to MedC in a semester.
Okay.
Out of these 25%, only 70 out of these 25% who are prescribed the medicines, only 70% are buying them from the pharmacy. Remaining 30% include those who are doing just for makeup, or who are not buying any medicines. That includes the 30%. So if we calculate 70% of 25% of 3,500, along with the number of students that are using pharmacy without any medication, because they are buying some basic medicines like PCM or any antispasmodic tablets. So that number is around 60. That is around 60 per month. So you can so that is around 360 per semester. So if you and average, if we believe 150 rupees per student, so that won't be more than 10 lakhs. And as we know, more than 10 lakhs budget is covered during this fest thing. So I believe if so much budget from the SWD end can be provided for just a 3-day fest on food items, such immediate medical requirements can easily be fulfilled. That SWD deficit load will be easily managed by the SWD and the administration.
All right. Okay.
And what is the extent for which SWD will be applicable to these medical purchases? Like, let's say if I have an external prescription, will SWD still be applicable to that?
Sorry?
Let's say I have an external prescription from someone.
Okay.
So will SWD payment still be applicable for purchasing?
No.
Okay.
So it's only for MedC and then.
Yes, it's only for
pharmacy?
the yeah.
All right. Okay. Yeah. So your last point, can you explain that a little bit?
So, currently, there are many problems, for example, the dogs problems. Like, there are so many dogs in the campus, and the taste of food, like food and mess. These kind of issues are kind of conflicting, because we have mixed opinions in this from the general body. So to address these kind of issues, the groundwork that I received couldn't help me in formulating an idea. So rather than putting in these things in my agenda and any sort of other things that are controversial like these, they have mixed opinions. So rather than I thought that why not, make GBMs for them to discuss these sort of issues, so that proper implementation of actions can take place. That is in that is in regard of general body. And currently the CSA does not hold these two GBMs, but it is mentioned in our constitution. And as a CSA member, it is my primary duty to just obey the constitution.
Okay. And
Despite it being in the constitution, why do you think GBMs were not held earlier?
Because I would say improper time management, maybe because not exactly improper time management, but the CSA had many other things to do as well, and they had their own agendas to fulfill first. And for this, maybe I'm not the best person to answer this question. I think you should ask the current CSA.
Okay.
all right. Okay.
So, how will these GBMs specifically solve those issues, such controversial issues? They already have been brought up. People have already discussed it. So, what extra benefit does a GBM bring to the students?
Firstly, apart from these issues, also many first years, I can definitely say about the first years, but many second years as well, they don't have much clue about what the CSA is actually doing. If I'm given a chance to serve the college through CSA, I want the general body to know what the CSA is working on, and I want inputs from the general body as well, which is the primary objective for these meetings. Apart from that, to discuss these sort of issues, we'll be taking inputs from the general body. We'll be proposing solutions. We'll be just proposing solutions to the general body in the GBM. We'll be seeing what kind of response we get, and on the basis we'll be taking further steps, so that we make sure that any step we take further is not against the general, that like any idea does not go against the pulse of the general body.
All right. So, I won't ask you for exact dates, but when in the academic calendar are you planning on fitting these GBMs?
My plan is that at the very beginning of the semester, we'll be conducting a poll on all the BPGC's WhatsApp groups that when actually does the general body wants this, because according to our constitution, there should be a minimum 20% quorum to these meetings, and if general body doesn't show up, it is of no use. So I'll just get a poll done. I'll get to know when actually is the general body available for this, and based on that, at the very beginning of the semester, I'll make my routine, and I'll make the plan of action for the coming semester in such a way that I get free during those particular 2 hours.
All right.
Okay. All right. So, anything else do you want to add?
I'll just say that like when I was making my agenda, like I have a point on eateries, I have on acads, I have on MITC and on infra. I tried to cover every domain on the campus, thus serving the role of a general secretary. And like I've spent around 4 months on making my agenda, so I believe that I have enough groundwork to make these ideas actually I have the groundwork to actually execute these ideas if I'm given a chance to serve the people of BITS Goa as a CSA member. So yeah, that's what I'll say.
Okay. All right. Great.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.